بس
We are done with Spain.
90% yes.
We took
We finished this.
Conquistador and we took Viceroy and things like that, you know.
Okay, as a quick reminder, guys, Spain, after conquering the new land, after they landed over there in the Caribbean islands, when Christopher Columbus landed over there, they started to send the army, the Spanish army. So they started to send conquistadors. Conquistadors are Spanish military leaders who went to discover and explore the rest of the undiscovered new land. So out of these conquistadors, we took Hernan Cortez and Francisco Pizarro. Hernan Cortez went to discover Mexico, where he found the Aztec Empire, and he killed their leader over there, Mucha Kuzama II, and he entered Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital. Francisco Pizarro was a conquistador too, and conquistador is a Spanish military leader. Please, if you are not using your mic, mute it for the surrounding noise. So Francisco Pizarro went to discover and explore Peru, where he found the Incas civilization. He killed the leader over there, Atahualpa, and entered the Incas capital, Cusco. After they finished their mission to explore and to conquer these two lands, Mexico and Peru, in order to have some order in the new discovered land, the Spanish king started to send some viceroys to rule the land for him. Try to remember this term, viceroy, from the word vice. We used to have vice president nowadays. So viceroys, we can consider them, they are messengers from the king to rule this new founded land. I mean Mexico and Peru, viceroys. So because of the drop of the population over there from 50 to only 4 million, because of the European diseases, they had no immunity against the European diseases. The normal diseases like smallpox, fever, even the flu. So there was a drop in population. So who will do the work for them? Sorry, Las Casas, he was a Spanish priest who introduced the idea of getting the slaves, cheap workers, cheap laborers from Africa to the new founded land to do the work for them. Why? Because of the encomienda system. The encomienda system, it was a system established by Spain where every colonist was simply given a small piece of the land plus some workers to work the land for him. By the work, I mean mining and farming. Mining to get gold and silver out from the new discovered land, and for the farming business. In return, the natives will get some teachings about Christianity. Of course, it was unfair to the natives because they will get simply nothing out of this equation. So any questions, guys, regarding Spain? Of course, Spain took the advantage because of their equipment. They had heavy armors, metal weapons, guns and swords. In return, the natives have only spheres, wooden sticks. So the wooden sticks or the spheres there is no comparison between both of them. They conquered these lands easily. In addition, they used horses. And here I'm talking about Spain. For the natives, it was their first time to see these animals, horses. At the very beginning, they thought they were aliens coming from the outer space. They were afraid from these animals at the beginning. So all of these factors helped Spain to conquer and invade these two countries easily. So is it clear for Spain, guys? Any questions regarding Spain? Complete silence. So I think it's clear, right? If you have any question, be my guest, raise your hand. or I can ask if everything is clear. Badr Khalid. Badr. Badr. Where are you, Badr?
اسمعك معك بس قاعد
Okay,
احاول
but
اصل معك.
okay. Why, Badr, do you think that Spain conquered these two lands easily?
What again?
Why do you think Spain conquered and invaded Mexico and Peru easily?
Why did مصر آسف مرة
Spain?
ثانية؟ أيوه.
Why did Spain conquered Mexico and Peru easily? Why it was an easy mission for them?
Because they have guns. So,
Thank you. Metal weapons,
Yes,
swords and
metal.
guns.
Yes,
Weapons
swords.
made of steel, made of iron. And they had heavy armors. While on the other hand, the natives were fighting by using
wooden sticks.
Wooden sticks or spheres. Thank you very much. In addition to the usage of horses. So this is for Spain, guys. Let's go on. Portugal. At the very beginning, as we mentioned earlier in the previous lesson, the voyages of discovery, Portugal and Spain took the lead and they started the age of exploration or the age of discovery. So during this age of discovery, they agreed and they had some kind of treaty between both of them, Portugal and Spain. Okay? So they drew an imaginary line through the Atlantic. All of the land to the west of this imaginary line will go to Spain, while all of the land to the east of this line will go to Portugal. So out of this equation, Portugal will take only Brazil, while all of this land will go to Spain. Now I need you to use your mind a little bit. Why do you think Portugal agreed to this treaty? Because as you see, it's not fair to take only Brazil, while Spain will take all of this land.
It was still undiscovered.
Thank you very much. You are my hero. Because at back to that time, it was not yet discovered. It was undiscovered land. So maybe Spain will discover nothing. So Portugal was satisfied with Brazil because of the Treaty of Tordesillas. What's the official language of Brazil nowadays? Football fans, the samba. What's the official language of Portuguese? Thank you very much. So Portuguese is the official language of Brazil. Let's go on. Our next country will be France. Of course, their aim and their goal after their discovery, they discovered Canada. Do you remember the name of the French explorer who discovered Canada? His name was Sir, starts with an F. In fact, FR. Sir
فرانشيسكو
Francesco Pizarro?
فيجرز وحاجة.
Of course, not Francesco Pizarro, because Francesco Pizarro was a conquistador. Sir Francis Drake, okay? Sir Francis Drake, who discovered and explored Canada. So after his discovery,
What's his name?
Sir Francis Drake, okay? Starts with FR, Sir Francis Drake. After this discovery, guys, France started to send more officials, more navigators, more explorers in order to discover this land, hoping that they can find gold and silver, like Spain. Guys, for Mexico and Peru, Spain found huge amounts of gold and silver. And of course, they simply brought all the gold and silver they mined over there from the new discovered land and sent it over there to Europe, where they started to sell them in the European markets. So the other nations were jealous. They want a piece of this cake. So France hoped that they can find some gold and silver over there in Canada. Unfortunately, there was no gold nor silver over there. They found something else. What is this?
Fur.
Animal
Fur.
skin.
Exactly. They found fur over there, animals' fur, especially beavers and foxes. So they started to hunt these animals, and they used to sell their fur over there in the European markets, of course, for high prices. Okay? Now use your mind a little bit. How do you think the French people hunted these animals? Do they have any experience with this issue? Do they have the same animals over there in France? So they have the sufficient experience in this business, how to hunt wild animals in order to get the fur out of them, beavers and foxes. Use your mind a little bit. Who can help them with this issue?
The natives.
The natives, exactly. So they got the help of the natives. So France figured out there is no need to send the army over there to Canada. What's the benefit they will get? They already discovered this new land, and there is no gold, no silver. So if they gonna send the army over there to protect their industry, there is no benefit. There is no gold or silver that demanded some kind of security. They found only wild animals where they can hunt them, for their fur. So, in fact, they sent some traders, businessmen, to finish up this deal with the natives. So they asked the natives for help. Of course, the natives have the sufficient experience in this business to hunt for them the wild animals. In return, they will pay the natives some gold or even money or even some of the European goods as a barter system. So they asked the help from the natives, and they started to establish some bonds between the French and the natives. Even they went a little bit further. They started to marry from each other in order to enforce or strengthen this bond. So instead of sending the army, the French started to send French traders in order to finish this deal. So France got from the newfoundland land, Canada, they got the fur from wild animals, plus they found a lot of fish over there where they simply catch them and send them over there to the European market in order to get some profits out of this discovery. Then they started to send some expeditions to discover more of the lands. Out of these explorers came Samuel de Champlain. Samuel de Champlain went to discover the Quebec province. First of all, they discovered Canada. Later on, they discovered the Quebec province, hoping that they can find gold. Unfortunately, there was no gold nor silver over there. So they started to send more expeditions, and they sent René Robert LaSalle. René Robert LaSalle, who went to discover the Mississippi River. Where do you think the Mississippi River is located? In Canada or in the States? Or in both of them?
Both.
Both of them. In fact, guys, the Mississippi River starts here and goes all the way along the states. Okay? So at the very beginning, when René Robert LaSalle discovered the beginning of the Mississippi River, he hoped and he thought, let me go along this river, maybe I'm gonna reach the other side of the newfoundland land in order to discover a shorter route to reach India, the main goal. But unfortunately, he discovered the fact after going all the way, he discovered the fact that the Mississippi River is going to the south, not to the west, as he hoped. And he found over there a piece of the land. Of course, he claimed it for France, and he gave it a name. He named it Louisiana, after the name of the French king at that time, Louis the 14th. He named the state of Louisiana nowadays after the name of the French king at that time, Louis the 14th. So guys, is it clear? France is clear to you?
Yes, miss. I clear. Miss.
Okay. So if I ask Omar Osman, Omar,
Yes, yeah, best.
Omar, why do you think the French thought about why the French didn't send the army to Canada? Like
Because
the
they
Spanish.
because they were willing to go to the west, to India, because that was their original destination.
Can you elaborate your answer a little bit? Can, for example, the Spanish, after their discovery, they started to send the army, conquistadors, Spanish military leaders, to discover the land, right?
Yes.
While France didn't send the army. Why do you think?
Maybe they weren't willing to go to a fight
With the natives?
with the natives, or if they
Mister,
met
can I
Spanish
say the
army.
answer?
Okay, be my guest. Listen up, Omar.
Okay.
There were no gold and silver, so there's nothing to protect. Instead, they sent businessmen for them to learn how to get the fare.
Thank you, Muhammad. Omar, they didn't find any gold nor silver over there in the newfoundland land. So there is no need to send the army. There is no need to look for some kind of protection. Of course, Spain found huge amounts of gold and silver over there in Mexico and Peru. So they needed security. They needed to protect their fortune in order to send them over there to the European markets. While on the other hand, France didn't find any gold nor silver over there. So why they are looking for any protection? What's the benefit they will get from sending the army over there? They found only animals' fur. So instead of sending the army, they started to send businessmen or traders to finish this deal with the natives. So they asked the natives to hunt the wild animals for them, and in return, they will pay them some money or even give them some gold for this business. And they
تمام.
started to establish some kind of relationship between both of them. I mean the natives and the French. So let's go on. Okay. Holland. By Holland, I mean Netherlands, right? Both of them are the same, guys. What was the name of the Dutch sailor? The one that we had already discussed during the lesson of Voyages of Discovery. Who can remind me here?
Henry Hudson.
Henry Hudson. Thank you very much. And his achievement was that he discovered the Hudson River and the Hudson Bay. Thank you very much. Henry Hudson. So they want to explore their land over there. They want to explore their colony. So they started to send people over there to finish this part of the map, to get the benefits out of the new discovered land, hoping that they can find some gold and silver, like Spain. So over there, they discovered, here's the beginning of the Hudson Bay, and here is the Hudson River. Okay, here is the Atlantic Ocean, or the Pacific one. Who can help me here? This is the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean?
No, Mr. Atlantic. Not Pacific.
Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean,
West.
thank you very much. Because the Pacific is in the other side. So here, the Atlantic Ocean. Where over there at the very beginning of the Hudson Bay and the Hudson River, they established a city. In fact, there is an island here, a famous island. They bought it from the natives. Here, in this dot, they found the Manhattan Island, where they bought it from the natives over there, with a certain amount of money, of course. After they bought it, they established their new city. They call it New Amsterdam, because over there in Holland, in Europe, the capital of Holland is... Who's gonna help me here, guys? The capital of Holland over there in Europe. There was an Arabic movie. Its name was Hammam in
Amsterdam.
Exactly. So the capital of Holland, guys, over there, the capital of Holland was Amsterdam, and until now. So they established a new city over there. They call it New Amsterdam. Later on, they rename it to be New Netherlands. Later on, they rename it to be New what? There is a very famous statue in this place. New what? Until now, we are still...
New York, Mr.
New York, exactly. So, Holland over there, they bought the Manhattan Island from the natives, and they established their new city, New Amsterdam. They rename it later to be New Netherlands. Then eventually it became New York, where over there they established their huge trading center to get the control all of the commercial movements in this Hudson Bay and in Hudson River. Okay? And this port, New York, was the center of all of the trade for North America. Okay, guys, is it clear? Any questions until now? Or I can ask. What do you think? Here I'm talking about Spain, Portugal, France, and Holland. So any questions regarding these four countries? Spain, Portugal, France, Holland. Sorry. So by this silence, this is gonna mean everything is clear to you, right?
Mr.
Yes.
What happened again in Amsterdam? I wasn't.
Okay. For Holland, their discovery and their colony over there in the new founded land was the Hudson Bay and the Hudson River. They call it this way because of the Dutch sailor who discovered this piece of the land. His name was Henry Hudson.
That's okay.
Henry Hudson, he made his first voyage to the English government at that time. Then later on, he made another expedition for Holland, where he made his achievement and he discovered the Hudson Bay and the Hudson River. So Holland want to enforce and they want to establish their colony over there after their discovery. So simply, they went to this piece of the land where they found an island at the entrance of this valley, this bay, sorry, the Hudson Bay. They found a small island over there, the Manhattan Island. So they asked the inhabitants, the residents of this island, trying to enforce them to sell this island to Holland. And they succeeded, by the way, at this deal. And they actually bought this island from the natives, from the original inhabitants of this island. After they getting it, they started to establish a new city, okay? Their new capital. So the name of the capital of Holland in Europe was Amsterdam. So as a way of honoring their capital or of honoring their country, they named this new city, they call it New Amsterdam, as if it's their own, their second capital. They name it New Amsterdam. Later on, they call it New Netherlands. Eventually, they call it New York. Okay? And it was the capital of the Dutch colony in the new founded land. Okay?
Okay.
So they, because of their trading, because of their power at that time, New York was the center of the commercial activity at that time. Try to imagine, for example, if some of the traders are here, even though they are not Dutch, even they were French traders, for example, and they wanna go to Europe, of course, with their achievement or with their fortune or with their cargo. By the cargo, I mean the fur, the animal's fur. Instead of waiting for the French ships to come and get them, they can simply use the Dutch ones. No problem. They will simply pay the fees. And if they are buying some tickets, they will pay the fees, use the bay, use the port, and go back over there to Europe. So we consider New York as the center of the commercial activity at that time. And until now, by the way, guys, until now in our modern world, New York is a very important port in the States. Yes, regarding the commercial activity between Europe and the States. Okay? Any questions, guys? Sleepy.
No,
I know it's the 7th session. Do you have 8th one today?
No, alhamdulillah.
Lucky you. Lucky you. There is no 8th session today, right? So this is your last session.
لا هو مفيش أصلا.
No 8th. You do not have 8th.
ما عندناش 8 اساسا.
Nor of the days missed.
بس
طول السنة ان شاء الله.
Good for you. Lucky you. Do you know that grade 12 they have 8 session 3 days per week?
لا إله.
So
Alhamdulillah.
I thought it's the same issue here because
لا
12
ما فيش
graders
alhamdulillah.
does have the 8th session. So your school day is over, right?
Alhamdulillah.
شكرا.
Lucky you.